welcome back to the channel. Today we are back on the Mustang. Now the last thing we did with this car is I took it to the Tulsa Test and Tune, where, well, it did terrible. As a matter of fact, I managed to turn an 11.8 second car into a 17.7 by the end of the night. Now, I figured, I've been learning how to tune this thing myself, and I figured I'd have some ups and downs. But I didn't think I'd have it that bad, or I'd be that terrible at it. Especially since I started figuring out how to use data logging and the air fuels and timing and all that stuff. But it didn't seem to matter what I did with this car that night, it just got slower. So we loaded it up, I brought it home. I grabbed another laptop I had down at the house, which had a tune on it that was written by the guy at the dyno. I loaded that into the car. Of course, the car ran better. So I decided to give it another try. Started messing around with the tune again, and the car got worse again. So you know what? There's got to be something else going on. No matter what I did or how I wrote the tune, anything I did with the fuel mixtures or the timing, this car would break up at around 45 to 5,500 RPMs. And I don't think I got it over 5,500, no matter what I did. So brought it home, I let it cool down, and I just started going over things. Started checking my plug wires, and well, this is what I found. So for those of you that hadn't seen the last video, this is my cap. I pulled it off, and if you can see down inside there, all the corrosion and buildup on the inside of this cap. You can see the splatter marks. You can see all the white from the crossfire. And that center post there is broken as well, which is a cause for all the white and crossfire marks on top of this guy. So nothing was working right inside that distributor cap. It was sending spark all over the place, and especially underneath a hard load. I could drive this and feather the throttle, and I could get it to rev up, but I mean it would take forever to go past 5. I never did it softer enough to do that. I just know that if I drove it like normal, I didn't have any issues. It was always underneath hard acceleration and when the boost came in quick. So I'm glad I found that. And since this is where I left off on that video where I found this problem, I figured today I got this morning, came out, finished checking all the plug wires, made sure all those were tight. They weren't crossing across my little hold downs. Pulled the plugs, double check my gaps. There was a little bit of an inconsistency with my gaps. For the last few times I've been using one of these little guys here. This one's from AutoZone. But let me see if I can get it to focus. This one started getting a little chewed up. It had about a 4 or 5 thousandths inconsistency. So I broke out the feeler gauge there, set all my gaps to 25 thousandths. And this was the last plug over here on the passenger side that I pulled out. Before I put it back in, I kind of wanted to show you guys this neat little gadget I found. It's called a sparking plug tester. It's got a little dial here. It goes from 1,000 to 6,000 RPMs. Now I have one of those little, this one's a Autolite Platinum plug in there. You see it's got the small tip on there. And this one's an NGK V-power plug that I've run in the car. And I don't know if it can focus in on it, but let's see. You can see the top there is kind of a V shape. So I figured this would be really cool to show you the difference between that Platinum plug there and our NGK V-Power. Let's go ahead and turn this thing on to, let's go ahead and hit 3,000 RPMs. Or you know what? That's where it first turns on, so that first line I'm assuming is 1,000. So now you can see, it's kind of hard to focus. There it goes. Neat little spark there. It gets light and dark. That's machined because both plugs are doing it the same. But let's go ahead and turn this thing up to 5,000. You can see the difference between our Platinum plug there. It's really hard to get focus. and our V power. Come on, buddy. There we go. I figure that's really cool. I'll put a link to that in the description. That way, if any of you guys want it or want to pick one up so you can play around with it, I'll put a link there. Kind of neat. I don't know how accurate it is or if it's any accurate at all, but it at least throws spark through your plug there and you can see what it's doing. Is it 6,000? I have no clue. I don't. I haven't bothered to even try to check to see if that is. I just know when I turn the dial up, it gets faster. But it at least will show you the difference. At least show you if this thing's firing or not. And it'll show you the difference between if you got another spark plug, like, let's see. Here's a, what is this? This one's like a Champion. It's got the different style up in there. It's not V-Power, just a normal copper plug, I believe is what it is. But you can use it to see the difference in spark between the different spark plugs. Anyway, I thought it was kind of cool. I figured I'd show you guys. But right now I'm going to go ahead and get this spark plug put back in the car, get this thing fired up, get it outside, and then we'll go take it on a test drive to see if we actually see if this thing runs any better. All right, all warmed up. Got Seth with me. He's going to be doing some videoing as well. Got the laptop hooked up. Gonna do a couple data logs as well just to see how this thing's running. So let's get on with it. Let's see what this thing, let's see if we fix anything. We are back in the shop, and I will tell you this, guys, this car runs much better. Every little adjustment or tuning that I make, every little adjustment I made in this car, I could feel a difference. Unlike before, I'd be making a bunch of adjustments and not really feel anything, thinking that I'm doing something wrong, not doing it right, and I'm moving stuff all over the place. But after fixing the cap and rotor, getting it back out on the street today, and just making some test hits, in and out of the throttle, you can feel a difference. The car is running much better. Although there is only so much I can do with the car on the street. I'm running pump gas. I've got the smaller spring in the wastegate, so I'm only running about 5 PSI of boost. So I got everything turned down. I don't want to risk melting anything down or breaking anything, but it's improved quite a bit. I've got some snapshots of our little draggy that I am going to put at the end of this video. You guys can go, you can check them out and see the progression in this car at each time we did any little adjustment. You know, like I said, I'm pretty much limited to what I can do being on the street, pump gas, 5 pounds of boost. So, but don't get me wrong, there's still quite a bit of tuning left in this car with what it has. It just started to get late. So, but I'm excited. I'm happy. I'm glad that we are able we're able to find that problem, bring this car back, and actually start making some progress on it. So now I'm looking forward to the next track day so we can get this thing back out on the track, see if we can't start improving those numbers again, put that larger spring back in, put some higher octane fuel in it and start turning it up. So I'm genuinely happy. I really am. It's just, I was starting to get a little down with the car. You know, it seemed like everything I did, it would just get worse, or every time I turned around, I'd break something. So yeah, like I said, now we got the cap and rotor fixed. I'm making adjustments. I can actually feel a difference every time I touch the computer now, so that is awesome. But anyways, it is getting late, so I'm going to end this video right here. Thank you guys for hanging out. I hope you enjoyed. If you're new, hit that subscribe button for me. Definitely give me a like. That does wonders with the YouTube algorithm. Helps me grow. So again, guys, thank you for hanging out. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for all the comments. Thank you for all your support. And I'll catch you all next one.